The reason I was upset with Connor earlier, we got into an argument over dinner. We mentioned Tyreek Hill, and he's maybe allegedly has some issues going on, right? He was potentially going to get a $100 million contract, something like that, some insane amount of money for a wide receiver. And I said, if this does turn out to be true and they have to let him go, I think they're almost better off spending that money somewhere else, either on defense or getting a lesser receiver, because you don't need a stud elite wide receiver to win a Super Bowl. Connor, on the other hand, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I, on the other hand, disagree, but we also have very different meaning of
but Gronkowski.
stud receiver.
Right. So we talked about how good Mahomes is.
And Julian Edelman, too.
I called Edelman a stud receiver.
And Gronk, though. Gronk,
understand, yes.
Gronk is stud wide receiver. I mean, that's not...
So I said, if you lose Tyreek Hill, okay, you still have Kelsey. You still have a legitimate offense. Mahomes is going to get better. And you can spend that money, maybe upgrade the defense, or you get another receiver who can play as number one.
Well, you're saying Tyreek Hill is not a necessity to the Chiefs?
Yes.
That's what you're saying, right?
It's a luxury to me. Plus, to spend that much money.
Well, Patrick Mahomes is a stud, though.
Right.
Yeah, big time.
Exactly.
Young quarterbacks have done well without Tyreek Hill. I mean, Jared Goff did. But
Then I said, you look at the past, 10, maybe 15 almost Super Bowl winners. There's not one real elite top-tier wide receiver on any
Man,
of
this
them.
is because you're a Steeler fan, and this is Antonio Brown. That's all this is. This is Antonio Brown. This is the Antonio Brown hate creeping. Don't need him with Super Bowl. Don't need him. Look,
Don't.
15 years, we've been, look, you did the research. We did the research. Shit, went on to Google.
And there's no doubt that's part of it, but is it wrong?
I think Gronkowski is a superstar wide receiver. So is Julian Edelman. So the Patriots have won a Super Bowl with a superstar wide
You think
receiver.
Julian Edelman is a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL?
No, Gronkowski definitely is, though.
I also think Jordy was when the Packers won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we had the
Gronkowski's top 5 wide
Okay, so
receiver in
Kelsey.
the.
Right.
But I don't know if Kelsey's incredible. Kelsey's a very fucking good tight end. Gronk, though, is just a different specimen when Gronk is playing. And it might be because the system he's in, too, is taking care of him in a very good way. You got Julian Edelman helping him out a lot. But also, they got some super geniuses over there. Right? Not that Andy Reid isn't. But we can all assume the Belichick will go down as the greatest coach of all time. The way that they operate with Gronk is just another animal. And Tom Brady being a veteran quarterback, think about whenever Tom Brady used to just send Gronk out for a one-on-one on the goal line. Like, that wasn't a play call.
Yeah.
That wasn't anything. That was just
Take
like,
advantage of your matchups.
here you go. Like, they're not doing that with Travis Kelce, right? You could. I don't know why they're not. They're not doing, but that's like the benefit that Gronk has is like those types of situations being set up for him to be great. I don't think Travis Kelce always has those situations, but Gronk is just a different fucking animal, dude. That guy. That's why
I
I think
agree. Also, you're not paying Edelman $100 million. You're not paying these wide
Brady
receivers.
either, by the way. Brady isn't getting the max contract he could get because he's already wealthy and he takes a pay cut later, which is hysterical, by the way, every time they say, like, oh, this person's making more money than Tom Brady. It's like, in his entire career, he has, or like just this year in particular?
Yeah.
Brady's doing just fine.
I don't mind, though, a quarterback taking a little bit of a pay cut, not being super greedy, by the way, so you can build up the rest of the team. I thought Luck was potentially going to be that guy because Luck is very much a golly, G-shucks.
Yeah.
He got beat up, so I thought they were going to be like, yeah, spend some money on the offensive line so I don't get killed. But I don't even think the NFLPA would let him.
And that's the craziest
I
part,
don't think
right?
the NFLPA would even let him. Like, I think even if some quarterback... If some quarterback was just like, "Hey, that's what I want to do. I don't want to take the max contract. I want to let the team do that." The NFLPA will be like, "You know that? Then you're setting the bar lower for guys behind you."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that conversation does. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm assuming that conversation definitely would happen.
Makes sense.
Because everybody's about getting all the money you can get.
Yes, speaking of Russell Wilson,
Yeah.
he just said April 15th, I want to restructure or I'm not coming back.
After,
Yeah, he set a deadline. As
but he said he's not going to
to
miss any practices, right?
I think so.
So he's talking about after his contract is up.
I'm not sure. It made it seem as though he wanted to be restructured by April 15th.
Also,
That's
another
what I
guy
thought.
who's won without an elite receiver.
Yeah. And
Yeah, but elite defense there. But they had to pay them. That was a rookie quarterback, right? That was the rookie. That was the very first time where, I mean, I've been pushing this narrative for a long time.
Yeah.
But whenever you watch people spend money on the team as opposed to the main 4 or 5 positions that they always spend on, but when you watch people spend money on like the team,
Yeah.
and watching them excel, and I'm not saying Russell Wilson is not a great quarterback, but I mean, that team is the reason why they were so fucking good. Just
Right.
like the Broncos were when Tim Tebow was there. I mean, that team, that defense was insane. And then they had to pick and choose. Like, okay, we got a quarterback that's already won. So does that mean we have to pay this guy because he's won and it's hard to find a quarterback? And then everybody else doesn't get any money. So then they all get pissed off and leave. And now they're about to lose him too. So they lost the Legion of Boom, and they're also going to lose Russell Wilson if they don't restructure it. It's like, man, these quarterbacks got these teams by the balls. By the balls.
That was my overarching point, was that if they can get away with replacing Tyreek Hill with a decent receiver, they can spend that money elsewhere to make that a legitimate team with a stud quarterback on a rookie contract.
Yeah, but I think Tyreek Hill is one of those guys now. I mean, as long as he didn't. By the way, if he did anything wrong, let's go ahead and punish him for sure.
right.
Get him out, yeah.
Let's let the world do what
Right.
it's supposed to do. If you're a bad guy, what happens to bad people? Let's say it all comes to pass and it was a misunderstanding. I don't know. I haven't researched the thing. Let's say he's back in the league though. He's going to be one of those guys now who's the old vet that travels around, makes money. Not huge money because nobody's going to feel obligated to pay him huge money because he's got red flags. So they're just going to get him for a flyer. Just a little bit of this money, a little bit of that money. But he's going to be a highly sought after guy that's just going to get paid not as much as he should get paid if this all comes to pass because of his fucking resume and his entire
No
life
doubt.
story. And it's crazy to think though that potentially the wide receiver that changes football, Tyreek Hill, most explosive wide receiver I've ever seen in my entire
Nobody
life.
like him. Nobody like him before
Never.
or ever. Yeah.
Faster than everybody.
Yes.
Smaller too, which he uses to his advantage, just like Darren Sproles.
Yeah.
And he had a quarterback that could keep up with him. And an offensive coordinator that was just designing things for him to succeed. I mean, it was like the perfect storm. And then this comes and it's just like massive destruction. Sad. It's a sad situation
Kareem
for
Hunt
everybody.
too. I mean,
What's
starting with Kareem Hunt too.
Oh,
The
my
Chiefs,
God.
going that to Tyreek Hill now.
It's crazy.